morning, folks. Sean Antel, Two Brothers Bushcraft. Another beautiful day out here on the lake. It's nice to be able to get outside again. It's been raining for the past few days, so really haven't gotten out and done much, but it finally gave us a little bit of reprieve. The rain was needed, though. It was getting really hot and dry and nasty around here, so we are definitely happy to have the temperatures knock back down into the 50s and 60s where we like them, and not so dry. But anyway, the reason we're out here today is a buddy of mine from Facebook, and for those of you who know who he is, you'll recognize this stuff right off the get-go. For those of you who don't, his name is Nate, and he does Holtzman Gorilla survival gear. And again, like I said, you can find him on Facebook, you can find him on Instagram, and his stuff is available for purchase through Amazon. For those of you who are budget-minded or just getting into this whole bushcraft survival aspect, this may be a really good place for you to start. He's got a really good variety of a lot of different stuff. He packages it very nicely. If you were just looking to get somebody a gift, what I'm about to show you here may be a really good way to go, especially again if you're just getting into that, or you're getting somebody into this. This may be a really good place to start. So very nicely done. And all that kind of stuff. Even though I'm a custom knife guy and all that kind of stuff, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if I got this for a Christmas or birthday present. I can promise you that. So we're gonna get reset up. I'm gonna show you what I got. Then we're gonna put it all together. And then after that, we'll get the camera set back up. We'll brought my trusty knife killer here. I've beat a lot of blades through a lot of wood with this thing. We'll do some feather sticking, test out the ferrule rod, that kind of stuff, and that'll be part one of the two-part video thing. So let's get repositioned. I'll show you what I got here and how it all comes together, and then we'll, like I said, we'll get set up, get some wood out, and do some basic testing. So give me just a second. All right, so let's just close this up so we get so you can see there's another piece that goes in here, but we're not going to worry about that. Anyway, cool little box. So it's got his name and his emblem on it. It's magnetic, so it just kind of locks into place. That's kind of cool. We open it up. There is another piece of foam right here that kind of holds this all into place. I'm not going to worry about that. It comes with paperwork, shows you maintenance, sharpening, do's and don'ts, all that with the knife. And of course the card that I showed you, excuse me. And then we have what comes in the box. So Kydex sheath, ferrule rod, scraper, comes with a tool, so we'll go over that, and some lanyard material. I don't know, me, I would just put some better paracord in there if that were me, but that's just me. But anyway, so we're gonna get set back up here really quick, and we'll get everything out of the box, and we'll put it all together, and then we'll get busy on doing some testing. All right, let's get started with the sheath here. Kydex black, nothing super fancy, but not too bad. I've already talked to some people, and I agree to some extent. He did add an extra retention strap here, which not a big deal. Yes, if it was some much nicer done Kydex, then that probably wouldn't be something you'd worry about. But again, we are talking about a very nice, budget-friendly package here. So to me, And I'll show you how well the knife actually sits in here, which isn't too bad. The little extra retention is not a bad thing. It's got a tech lock on here. See if you can see that. Like I said, I'm sorry, the way the sun and everything is. Tech locks, these are real popular with the tactical dudes and the military guys. So you can position this on the sheath in a variety of different ways, depending upon how you prefer to carry something or where you prefer to carry stuff. If this is something you're putting on, say a chest rig or something like that, then you can alter this. You can do cross draw, scout style, vertical, horizontal, whatever you want to do. So you just take this off and reposition it in these various holes in whichever direction you want to go with that. Close it back up, lock it into place, and it's there. So so that's the sheath. Ferrule rod. Now pay attention. Okay, one of the cool little things that he does for this stuff. Really nice. I think that's, I want to say that's probably like G10 or micarta probably. For that, I'd have to look it up to know for sure. But it's one of those types of material you're not gonna, yeah, you'll wear the ferrule rod out before you do the handle. So it's got some shock cord on it, so as you wear this down, you can hold it into place. The tool, again, that we talked about. I really like this. This I think is cool. The striker for the ferrule rod. So, and again, the color. I don't know. It's just if you your knife, blah blah blah, etc., etc. Okay, but I use a ferrule rod with a striker. Most of the time, the problem with using the spine of your knife or any of that kind of stuff is that because it's bigger, heavier, and all those really gnarly ripples that you get in your ferrule rod are from using bigger, heavier strikers that doesn't keep good, solid, constant pressure. So you end up with something that looks like a cobblestone road. Or if you're using a striker, and I'll just give you an example here. My ferrule rod. Anyway, sorry about that, neighbors. Anyway, ferrule rods. Let's see if I can get out. If you'll notice, pretty nice and smooth. Again, the shadowing is really going to be kind of crappy, but anyway, nice and smooth. So there's no ripples or any of that, and that's because I use this as my striker. So I don't get the, from the same thing you do when you're using the back of a knife or, something heavier like that. And that's the reason a lot of people, if they're carrying their multi-tool and that kind of stuff, they, use the saw from your Swiss Army knife or your Leatherman or whatever, and you get a really good, clean, full contact strike. So I really like that that he included that onto this little deal here. So, and I also we'll put this together, and then the knife itself. So here we go. Kind of a cool looking knife. It's got his emblem on it. 1095 high carbon. G10 again, pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's G10. I'd have to look it up to know for sure. It's either, I'm pretty sure it's G10. And then again, the color scheme. So he offers, and I believe this is either Toxic or Venom Green, one of those two. Some of that stuff I just really don't, I don't pay enough attention to. So, but anyway, I like the green, so I went with the green. Not a bad handle, kind of a Coke bottle kind of a design to it. Not too bad, doesn't feel too bad. I like that he's added the thumb scallops. I really wish more people would add those. Just a really nice feature when you're doing certain tasks. So, $10.95. For those of you who are familiar with it, you're well aware of you know, its functionality and what it's good for. There is a reason that a lot of companies, like let's just say Tops or SE, for instance, use a lot of 1095 for their survival stuff, and that's simply because they know that that steel, if you look it up under you know, any of the knife steel whatever pages that go over all this stuff, you'll find that 1095 is it's king of the hill for toughness. You can literally beat the ever-loving bejesus out of this thing, and you'll fold this knife before it ever breaks. So especially if you've got a good quality, you know, tempering and heat treating, whatever, unbelievable. Not super phenomenal edge retention. There are companies, again, like Tops, for instance, they actually differentially heat treat, so they'll leave the spine soft because they know you're going to be out there with, you know, your club trashing on this knife, beating it through everything, but then they actually harden the edge for a little bit better edge retention. Again, I don't know if that's being done with this or not. Have something I'd have to discuss with him. And then the really great stuff, great thing about 1095 is that if this is all you have, okay, you don't have anything else, and it is that type of situation, which hopefully if you're prepared and you know, a little common sense and some training and some practice, you won't find yourself in that situation. You can sharpen this guy on a flat rock. So, so in that case, when I start putting the sheath together, I will point something out as far as for, you know, sharpening and stuff, so that you're not stuck doing it on a flat rock, that you can do differently with his sheath. If you're, say, you're carrying a ferro rod like I do that's tethered to your pants, so you're, you know, that's with you regardless. Anyway, so let's put the sheath together. Ferro rod, 3/8, goes in there very nicely, nice and tight, locks right into place. Again, shot cord, you know, if you start to wear it out. Now, when I was referring to altercations, so that you're not stuck sharpening with a flat rock, you could put my rig out over here. You could, instead of putting a ferro rod in your ferro rod loop, you could put a ceramic rod. So options, because like I said, my ferro rod is tethered to me at all times. And when I have this, I've got ferro rods in my pocket, ferro rods on my gear, ferro rods. I got ferro rods from here to Kingdom Come. So you could, instead of the ferro rod, put a ceramic rod in there and keep the ferro rod tethered to you. So that is an option that you can do with that little accessory. The striker, it's got its own little spot right on here. Snaps right into place. Ain't going nowhere. Again, G10, matching green. I really like that. That's a cool feature. And then the knife itself. So it's not bad. It's not bad. Now I know that the more you take it in and out and the more you play with it, it's probably going to loosen up a little bit. But initially, yes, I have had custom kydex from custom local makers where, I mean, I had a neck knife from a gentleman, the guy that made the knife I just showed you over here. It was a neck knife, and that was a two-handed operation for a while before I could just take that knife in and out without an issue. Even the White River was pretty stiff initially, but either way, you know, there's no... So this is just an added bonus, really it is. And so for some reason, if you ended up taking a tumble, rolling down the hill, fell off the boat into the river or the lake or whatever, this is just, you know, it's just an added feature to ensure that you're not losing your primary tool here. So here's the whole thing, all black and green, and so that's what you get. I'll have to double check, or you can look it up yourself, but I think this whole package, box, paperwork, ferrule rod, all of that, right around 130 bucks. Not really bad. Okay. You could spend a few extra dollars and say, you know, buy a Tops Bob or something like that, but you know, then you know, their sheaths are okay, but you know, they're not all that great either. Or an SE or one of those, but then, you know, adding a good striker, ferrule rod, modifications to the sheath, say you wanted a tech lock or whatever, and before you know it, you're up over, you know, a couple $100 or more. Where, like I said, again, if you're just getting started, you're looking for a nice gift for somebody, your budget doesn't allow an arm and a leg, this would be a really good place to start. So anyway, we are going to reposition the camera, and I'm going to get some stuff out, and we'll get set back up, and we'll do some basic testing. So give me just a few minutes, and we'll get back to it. All right, so I'm not overly worried about me being in the thing. We're focusing on the knife, so just you know, basic, not exactly the best paper for this, but pretty sharp. Those are things we'll definitely be testing out as we go. Just some basic batoning. We'll see how give it a few good whacks. See how she does. We'll get some stuff during the more hectic testing. How it works for chopping. Not too bad. No rolls or anything yet. We'll just put this guy down a little bit more. That kind of stuff. This wood's kind of wet, so we're not going to get super carried away with, you know, how many fires or whatever. Good edge geometry on it for what it's doing here. So really nice curls. Probably a little bit softer wood. I don't know exactly what this stuff is, but so not bad for curls. in there. Let's do some basic notching. Not too bad. Like I said, this stuff is kind of damp, so I think it's just spruce is what this is. So it's not a super hardwood anyway. Alaska's hardwood is birch, so we're not going to be getting into any oak or anything like that anyway. So it's not a big deal to worry about up here. Anyway, so that kind of stuff does pretty good. Let's test out the ferrule rod. Throw some pretty good sparks. Let's see where there's going to be a problem getting the fire going with that, except for the fact that the wood is wet. So that's nice, and I like the scraper, and again, no ripples, nice and smooth, and that kind of stuff. So again, striker, really cool thing. Anyway, so that's kind of just, you know, this part of the video, first impression, and we're going to package it all up, get this edited, and get it out there, and then the real testing will commence from there. Put a decent lanyard on this thing, touch the edge up, like I said. Yeah, so anyway, first impression, not a bad knife, especially for the money. You could do worse, and of course, if you've you got the money and the time and all that, you can do way better. Of course, a lot of that is opinion. The most expensive knife that Mora puts out is $100, and that thing absolutely bomb-proof. So I have a feeling that again, yep, you could definitely invest in a lot better stuff, and if you are a first-timer and this is what you choose to go with, I promise you that it'll only go up from there. So they're the whole one knife and whatever, and the only one and all that, that's all nonsense. So anyway, yeah, check him out, and he's got a ton of cool stuff, and I'm really excited to put this thing through its paces. And again, if you're just getting into the whole bushcraft survival thing for the first time, and I recommend that everybody does, these are skills that have kept man alive for a very, very long time, and they are well worth learning, and Mother Nature is a phenomenal teacher. So yeah, anyway, part 2 be coming soon, and kind of excited to see where this goes. Anyway, Sean Antel, Two Brothers Bushcraft. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.